Trump's tariff policy has been so nonsensical and such an unforced error. People have tried to figure out, why is he doing this? Well, all the chips are falling into place, and now we know exactly why he's doing this harebrained economic faceplant. Put up the headline. We've obtained internal cables showing how the U.S. government is pushing countries facing tariffs to clear way for Musk's Starlink. So this whole thing is another play for Musk. And I thought this makes a lot of sense. So Musk invested $290 million to get Trump elected, and he had a to-do list, an agenda: shut down investigations into himself, award himself contracts, and that deals with his domestic issues. But now he has international issues because he wants to be the most powerful man in the world with all the biggest toys. And so he convinces Trump with all of these other sycophants to do this tariff nonsense faceplant. And now they're using Starlink as a negotiating tool.
This surprises me zero. And what's interesting in my mind is Elon Musk is crying around about Tesla and poor me, poor me. And I'm like, dude, you have gotten everything you've wanted. You're no longer facing corruption charges. You're awarding yourself the contracts. And now you have the United States of America doing your bidding on Starlink policy. So instead of being a little bitty crybaby, shut the fuck up.
But isn't that the thesis sentence of MAGA? And these men are the biggest whiny bitches I have ever seen in my life. I mean, it literally is like a reality show, right, like on Bravo, but it's all these men with their, smoky eye, orange makeup, Elon Musk with his hair transplants, all this gender affirming care. And then they tell all the rubes and all the Fox News freebasers, oh, you can't have nice things because of trans people. You can't have nice things because these are very corrupt people causing generational damage. And they lie. They constantly lie to the American public. Elon Musk bought Twitter under the guise that he was a free speech absolutist. It was all bullshit. Put this up. Elon Musk is doing fascist Erdogan's bidding and has banned/censored popular opposition candidate Erkan Imamoglu, I'm probably mispronouncing that, account inside of Turkey. Freedom of speech for some, suppression for everyone else. So this is super important because Turkey is falling prey to an authoritarian dictator, and opposition sources are super, super important. If you think about what Vladimir Putin did to Alex Navalny, he's dead. They killed him. And so Musk is not only doing the dirty work here in the United States, but also for other dictators. And this is what's so terrifying about when the dictators of the world form an alliance. It always leads to war. Always. Historically, every single time. And we see the United States of America with Elon Musk, I want to remind everybody, was born in South Africa, comes over here, can't earn money on his own. He always has to game the system and skirt the system and be subsidized by taxpayers, break the rules, investigations into his companies. He, spikes the football on all of those. These guys are liars, cheaters, grifters, and con men, and they lie and tell the MAGA base, we are so for free speech. And they're not. They're not for free speech. They're not for freedom. They're not for democracy. And America needs to wake up.
I completely agree with that assessment. And what is so terrifying is that Elon Musk is taking his diabolical agenda across all oceans. He cannot be stopped because he does have Twitter. That gives him so much power. So the only thing we can do is continue to hopefully tank his brand such that it's recalled by the banks. That's $114 on the stock price.
I agree. And I just want you all to know that Pumps keeps an eye on that every single day. And we're doing good work, but we need to do better. Trump's approval rating needs to be in the teens. Elon Musk needs to be single digits. Tesla stock needs to tank. This to form an opposition against this. It's going to take everybody. It's going to take independent news channels like ours, collaborating with similar platforms, but it's also going to take the private sector. Mm-hmm. And the private sector, who has benefited from American stability, governmental stability, which the stock market loves, they need to address this problem, because what Trump is doing is causing damage to the American brand far beyond his 4-year term, far beyond his death, should he die while he's in office. And so the private sector needs to step up. They need to unite. They need to put pressure on Congress, because all this crypto shit, all of this stuff is corruption at the highest order. And Bill Gates is speaking out, and I commend him for this. Please put up this headline. Bill Gates says Elon Musk is killing world's poorest children. And basically in this article, Gates talks about the optics, which we've talked about a lot here, where you have the richest country in the world, the alleged richest man in the world, shutting down USAID, which is preventing food from going to the poorest people in the world. And the MAGA base is so ethnocentric. All they think about is America. And so Fox can just say, why do we care what's going on in Africa? And these people don't have empathy as a default setting. And so they're like, yeah, why do we care about that? Well, a lot of the work that we do prevents other authoritarian governments from popping up. And also, it's just a good exercise to help the poorest people in the world.
Well, here's the thing about Trump and Musk. They have no empathy. They are devoid of being able to empathize with people. They do not care that women and children and men all over the world, the poorest people, are dying. They don't care. And we have to grapple with that as a nation, and that 77 million people don't care either.
That's the bigger point. I get sociopaths in power doing sociopathic things, only advocating for themselves. I get that. Deeper than that are the people that vote for this, that claim to be patriots, that go to church, tithe at their church all the time, that claim to care about humanity. And given the optics of who they could vote for, they vote for this regime. They vote for a convicted felon. They vote for a compulsive liar. They vote for these people allegedly care about family values. And they vote for a man that, has been divorced a couple of times, has 5 kids. And then Elon Musk with, he has literally a litter of children scattered all over the United States and probably elsewhere. I read an article that they think he has a bunch of kids in Japan. And so it's just, there's a deeper issue for me with my focus being on the 77 million, because Trump and Musk have been duplicated and replicated all throughout history. How do we collectively make a healthier electorate that likes to critically think, where our default setting is collectivism, what's good for all of us, instead of this just overt individualism? One of the best things we can do as citizens is encourage other citizens to value facts, to digest and consume facts, and to question extraordinary claims when they're not followed up by extraordinary evidence, which is why every morning when we prep for these episodes, Ground News is our go-to. And what's so fascinating about it is you can literally see what your crazy MAGA relative is consuming and how they're down this conspiracy theory realm in like far right-wing media that doesn't fact check. Then you can see what the center is seeing, and then you can see what the left is seeing. It's absolutely invaluable. And I think we have agency over the news we consume. And I think we should all encourage each other to be better consumers of facts.
Absolutely. And that is where Ground News is so helpful, because when it aggregates the articles, it tells you what is the level of fact in this article, who wrote this article, what is their history with facts. And that is so important right now.
Listener, join us by going to groundnews.com/IHIP to get 40% off the Ground News Vantage plan that Pumps and I use every single day. By subscribing, you're not only getting a tool we all need today, you're also supporting our work here at IHIP News. That's Ground, GROUND. unnews.com/IHIP. And the link is pinned right below in the show notes. Okay, moving along with more corruption with Musk, the Trump administration to stop U.S. research on space pollution and boon to Elon Musk. SpaceX and Starlink owner may benefit from Trump's cuts to projects that could have led to regulations and costs. No surprise here.
It's just, I cannot believe the corruption is so out front. They're not disguising it. You gave me almost $300 million so that I could buy the presidency. Now you own me and I'm doing everything for your companies. It's sheer craziness.
Okay, next up, this will come as a surprise to no one, but it's a little juicy. Elon Musk is a terrible neighbor. Put up this headline. Upscale Austin suburb annoyed with Elon Musk's security. Party's 16-foot high chain fence. And here's an excerpt from that article. Residents of an upscale Austin suburb are increasingly frustrated with their neighbor, Elon Musk, enough that the matter is now the subject of official city meetings. Their complaints on the unneighborly conduct include a 16-foot chain link fence surrounding Musk's $6 million property and an evolving rotation of security guards who arrive in a fleet of cars, often parked on the street, according to the New York Times. Security personnel reportedly change shifts 3 times a day. In one instance, a passing driver shouted late at night that he was looking for a party at, quote, E's house. So basically, you know, it's a frat house over there. It's a ketamine K-hole. This guy's a shitty neighbor. He's a shitty person. He's a grifter. He is a welfare queen. And we have got to get that Tesla stock completely tanked and get his approval rating in the single digits. This is a con man beyond anything else. And he doesn't give a shit about anything except for making the world for him with a 16-foot fence, with a jillion baby mamas, and going to Mars and doing toe touches and putting his kid on his shoulders and fighting with baby mamas on Twitter. This is humiliating. Yeah. This is the goddamn United States of America, and 30-something% of people approve of this piece of shit welfare queen suck off the American taxpayer tit while we go out and work hard and this motherfucker barely even pays taxes? Are you kidding me?
It's really, none of it is surprising, but I'll tell you what surprised me when I read this article. It's that people go to his parties because he is so unpopular. He is so unlikable. You read article after article.
You know, Americans suck up to white rich men, and that's why we have a president, Donald Trump. I agree with you. I wish I lived in an America where no one would go to his parties.
You're right.
I agree with that, and I love your naivete about that. But remember when we go to these small towns or when we're in the airport, you see all that MAGA-coded shit and all this, I'm a big boy and I like my eagle and I have a grenade on my T-shirt and Elon Musk is cool and I'm going to go defend Teslas. I'm going to go take my big gun and stand outside a Tesla store. Americans worship this shit. Yeah. Not all of us, but some of us. All right, this is for you, Pumps. I wanted to throw in a little comedic relief. Put this up. Tuck Frump tweets, Green bangs gavel almost 50 times to quiet Democrat in a House hearing. Meacham retweets with comment, not sure who Gavel is, but I assume he's a cousin of hers. You guys, so as we deal with all of the Musk fuckery and illegal actions, immoral actions, corrupt actions, we can laugh, we can walk and chew gum. Please subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get to 1 million. We're getting closer. We need your help. And also follow other left-leaning channels, pro-democracy channels. We have got to build a huge opposition and a huge community that fights for democracy for everyone. We'll see you all later.